close to that mic when you talk. It's adjustable. Yep. See, you're a vet. You know what you're doing. You're still doing a podcast too yourself?
No, I never did.
Oh, you.
The following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
Welcome to EC Radio Podcast. We would like to thank all of our sponsors for joining the Disruption team, and we hope that you will support all of our sponsors. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this program.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Hope you're enjoying this beautiful day in upstate New York, man. We don't get too many of these, I'll tell you that, especially in March. But that yellow thing you see out in the sky, that's called the sun. It's like getting acclimated with an old friend, isn't it? We're live on all Disruption Network social media platforms, and it's wrapped up into a nice podcast that you can listen to at your leisure, at your discretion, at DisruptionNetwork.net. Much love to Utica Coffee. Thank you so much for waking me the hell up every day. You can check them out online at wakethehellup.com. Also, much love to EJA Moving Services. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit them up at ejamoving.com. The Utica Hemp Co., my good friends over there. Check them out. If you're living in pain, check out CBD. It works for me every day. They have a bunch of locations, and you can find them online at uticahempco.com. Thank you so much to Saranac as well. Love all my sponsors. Lots of good things happening this summer around Saranac. The summer concert season is hasn't been fully announced. I know there's a couple dates going on out there right now, but check your local listings, and there's going to be a lot of great concerts coming up to Saranac. So many great things going on, and that's why my guest in the house with me today, Jake DiBari, in the house with me today. Jake, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Z.
We're here to talk about all the fun things going on locally in the area because there's so much going on.
Yeah, man.
Now let's talk your background a little bit. You Positively Rome was your thing for a minute there, right?
Yeah. I worked at City Hall for a few years in economic development. And while I was there, we got a group together of businesses, the school district, the city, and started Positively Rome. And it really spun off from there. We started doing events, started a farmer's market, brought the bike share to Rome, just started kind of doing some different stuff.
What is it about Rome, New York that you love?
I mean, for me, I grew up there, and just a great community to grow up in. By far not a perfect place,
right?
But for me, just the neighborhoods and the schools, and for me now, I've got 2 boys, so I'm raising a family there. My wife's a teacher in Rome, and so we love it. There's a lot of great things happening right now, so we're just really excited to be there. It's kind of a cool time to be in the Rome and Utica areas.
I'm sure you had the opportunity to leave a few times, right?
I had the opportunity, and I did. I took it. Did. So yeah, I was in Northern California, Chicago, Saratoga Springs. So I kind of had my lost 20s but made it back to the area, and I took a little, tried to take a little piece of everything that I saw in Northern California, Chicago, and Saratoga. But when I got back to the area and decided to settle down, what was really cool was you felt like you could actually get something done. Try to do that in Chicago, try to do that in a big city. I wanted to get a community garden off the ground. So I started working with a group, and we went out for some grant funding, and we built our first garden, So it's like, that was like my first taste of, nonprofit work and community work. And it just kind of rolled from there. And then we got into it. And so, with Positively Rome, we started the Rome Farmers Market on Wednesday at Franklin Field. And there's been, since I left City Hall, they've moved it, and they're still doing their thing. But, we really got that off the ground, and we were really proud of that. We brought the bike share program to Rome. We got Zagster to town and tested that out in our market. We've just had a lot of fun doing different projects and getting people outside, and really, to enjoy upstate New York, you got to get outside.
True.
When you can.
Yeah. Either if it's in the winter or in the summertime.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of cool activities to do in the wintertime. And you being the ski enthusiast that you are, I'm sure you get out there and get on the mountains. Well, when you get a chance, huh?
I do. And I'm getting out more and more. The first couple of years when my kids were really tiny, we weren't out as much, but we're starting to go. We're up. We live at Woods Valley on the weekends. I try and get up to Gore and McCully when I can during the week when I can, and get out there and take some turns. We started to do, about 9 years ago, we started an event at Delta Lake State Park called Moonlight Trail Night. And we light up about a mile of trails with luminary lanterns. And people come from 6 to 9 at night and walk the trails in their snowshoes.
Oh, very cool.
And we've been doing it now for, I think this is our 7th year. First year we did it, we had like 350, 400 people show up.
Wow.
And we were over 1,000 people this year. And we had a huge turnout this year. We filled up 3 parking lots with cars in a matter of like 45 minutes.
Wow.
And we get Chris Cardello from Subaru comes over. They help us out. They bring some cars, and we bring in a couple food trucks, and we keep it real mellow. And I mean, it's an event that draws over 1,000 people and produce about 4 bags of trash, and we're out of there in under a few hours. I mean, people are really great about, coming up, hanging out, eating some food, going out on the trails, and then, taking their mess with them when they leave.
How long of a hike is it?
It's a mile.
Oh, it's a mile.
It's a mile. So it's really family friendly. the first few years we did it, we didn't really groom the trails or anything. We just let people kind of go out there and have at it. But it's gotten so busy and so popular for young people with kids, for some older people to come. So now we're grooming the trails. We're encouraging people to bring sleds for their kids because it just makes it a little bit easier for them to get around. And we did a smaller loop this year, and then we had a longer loop for adults and things like that. But people, I think, really like that event in particular because it's just different. You're getting outside at night. The luminaries look awesome out on the trails. I'm gonna have to get you there next year for it. You'd like it a lot.
So this event already happened?
Yeah, we had it this year. We did it. I forget, it was February 22nd.
Oh, okay. Recently.
We'll do it. Yeah. It was just a few weeks ago. We'll do it the same week next year. It'll be Saturday at the end of February, and we'll do it again. Some years we've done it. We had no snow. We were in the mud. We were in. You just never know what you're gonna get for snow here. I mean, then we have like a couple feet of snow just a week ago,
and now it's 65.
Yeah. So we just kind of do the event no matter what, and we actually have the most people when there's not a lot of snow because then people know they don't have to have snowshoes, they don't have to have cross-country skis, which you don't anyway, but it makes it a little bit easier if there's fresh snow out there to have snowshoes and stuff like that. So
sounds like a great event.
Yeah,
you mentioned Woods Valley, man. Mm-hmm. I think what Tim Woods is doing up at Woods Valley is fantastic. Yeah. He's really built this really cool music scene there, in the lodge. On top of course, you could go skiing and cross-country skiing and do the tubing and stuff like that. But musically, he's been putting out some great music at that place.
He's really bringing it there. Yeah. And I mean, to bring in sometimes 3 and 4, 5 bands between Friday through Sunday is, that's a big dedication to local musicians.
Indeed.
Because sometimes it's packed in there, and then depending on the weather, sometimes it's not. And those guys are still playing. A lot of them are working musicians and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's really bringing it. And for me, so when I grew up skiing at Woods Valley in elementary school, his father was still alive. So his father started the mountain. And then when he passed away, the Olneys took it over, and they took great care of Woods Valley. And then Tim and his family, got into the ski business elsewhere. And then when it was time for the Olneys to move on from Woods Valley, Tim came back and bought it back 6 or 7 years ago.
Full circle.
Crazy. So, and he's just breathed a lot of life into that side of Rome and into that mountain. And you go there and you can tell it's run by a family that cares immensely about it, but that started it there. I mean, that was his father's vision, and Tim came in and he installed the magic carpet, redid all the snowmaking there. It's like way more efficient now. He's done some real crazy tech stuff up there as far as snowmaking goes. Put the tubing in. He's just done a lot of great improvements to that little mountain, and it's a lot of fun. I don't think you're done seeing him make improvements there. So I think he's gonna keep on going, and it's been awesome.
And look out for a huge summer concert bash over there.
I think
too.
so.
Woods Fest 2 is happening. In fact, Coley was on No Time for Nonsense. Oh, it's going to be 3. You're right. Right. He was on No Time for Nonsense yesterday, Mike Coley, saying it's going to be a 2-day event with camping, and they're going to have like 30 bands.
Nice.
It's going to be an actual thing. So that's going to happen in August.
Yep. I think they do that in like early, mid-August. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just a perfect time. And, starting to put, Rome on the map. Rome Utica needs a really good outdoor festival. Saranac crushes it with their schedule. I am interested to see what they're going to come out with this year. But I haven't seen anyone who's coming yet.
I'll tell you off record.
All right, cool. But no, they're just crushing it up there, and for me and for a lot of people and a lot of young families, to have a place like Woods Valley is awesome. I don't know if a lot of people know, but the state does a free skiing program. I forget what it is, all the details, but it's for like third grade or 3rd or 4th grade or something like that. They have a couple of free ski days, and they have a bunch of discounted passes. I'll send you the link for that. And Woods Valley does participate in it. And so for local families to try out skiing and snowboarding, they can do that. And then at Woods Valley, for kids 4 and under, it's free with a paid adult.
Oh, wow.
So if you just want to give your kids a taste and go and play on the magic carpet, we're talking, $12 to get on the magic carpet. And then, if you borrow some gear or go rent some gear, it depends on what it'll cost you. But, it's just it's a great place for, kids to get exposed to, adults and other kids and stuff like that. And then the music and the beer, pretty good too.
Yeah, that's the sprinkles on top, right?
Right.
Coley's checking in right now. He says August 8th and 9th for Woods Fest.
Nice.
3. And so Brian Cornish checking in as well, too, saying the same thing. So thank you, guys.
Those guys are the best.
Everybody out there in Facebook land, do us a favor and click the share button. Help spread the word of this video and all the great things you're doing in Rome, man. You are doing some great things.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm noticing it in Utica, as you know this as well as I do, like growing up in this area, I've always heard, oh, this place sucks. There's nothing to do. But we're starting to hear less and less of that.
Yeah.
Is that same? It goes for Rome too?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And, I hate to break it to everyone, but it sucks in everyone's hometown.
Right.
I mean, Bruce Springsteen hated his hometown. He lives 20 minutes away from it now, and the boss is done all right. But, you hear those gripes, and I travel a lot for work, especially around the state. And I'll tell you what, I'll take Utica and Rome any day over a lot of communities that I drive through. We just have a lot going on when it comes to food and recreation and music and nightlife. And, for me, the recreation is a big part of it. But, you hear everybody griping. And that's one of the reasons why we started Positively Rome. I think that's one of the reasons why you've seen some of the other groups kind of pop up in the area because after a while, it just gets old. Everyone's just kind of griping about Griffiths and about this business moving or us missing out on this business. And, there's still a ton of great things going on. And so I think a lot of people in our generation, they want to gravitate towards other people that are excited about what's going on. Many of us are laying down roots here and, we're planning on staying at least for a long time. And so we're going to invest here, whether you're investing in housing, whether you're investing your time in a nonprofit, or whether you're building the next Ocean Blue or in the next place that they're building. Everybody invests differently at their own levels. And, I just see us all kind of gravitating, the positive people kind of gravitating towards each other to try and, just move things along. Because it's not going to happen by osmosis. Right. Someone's got to roll up their sleeves and do it. So I'm liking where things are headed. And I think a lot of people are too. And it's not a perfect place. We don't do it perfectly.
No place.
The government gets involved. It all goes to hell. But there's a lot of great things happening, privately. And I think luckily we do have, some good local and state government that understands, how hard it is here. I think some people also forget that Rome and Utica, we're kind of out here on our own little island. Syracuse is an hour that way. Albany is an hour and a half the other way. So we're kind of out here without any big metropolis. So anything that we're going to do here is going to be pretty homegrown. And, look at all the stuff happening, with the Nexus Center and everything that they're doing at Thinkubator and Ryan Miller's doing. Stuff doesn't just happen on its own.
Indeed.
It's cool to see local people doing it.
Yeah. And it's cool to see, like, these kids, the millennials, are not moving out of town. They're actually staying in town, opening businesses, starting families, buying houses. Like, they're staying. They care. They actually give a shit.
100%.
And it was never that. Like, my generation, they couldn't get out of here quick enough. Generation X, as soon as they got out of high school, they're gone. Me too. I was out of here.
Me too.
Left and came back a few times. But, like, the kids are actually staying in town, and they're doing positive things in the community. It's so great to see.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like after 9/11 something changed, and I think everybody wanted to, as soon as they could, get down to the city, or as soon as they could get down to Charlotte. And you still have people going there, and that's fine. And I go, I'll go and talk in some of the at the business classes at MV, and I'll go and talk in some of the business classes at RFA and some of the local schools. And I always tell the students there, some of you are going to leave and go and start families and businesses and go work other places. That's awesome. Some of you are going to stay, or some of you are going to come back. Some of you are going to stay and never leave. And, no matter what you do, I just try and encourage them to, wherever you go, just get involved. Whether you're in Sacramento, Austin, wherever you go get involved. Mm-hmm. They may make their way back here. And if they do, they'll have the training and the ideas to come back here and maybe make an investment of their time or their money and make something happen here. And then there's and I tell a lot of them, a lot of you are going to, end up staying, and there's X, Y, and Z going on, and just try and show them some of the cool things that are happening. They don't have to just go down one path. They can start events. They can go work for event businesses. They can throw a concert. They can get into grant writing. There's just a lot of things that they can do here.
Explore.
And go explore. Mm-hmm. And then, we're so close to, so much recreation here. If you like to be outside and have fun, freeze your butt off for a few months out of the year, but that's okay.
The warmer weather's coming soon.
It's coming.
It'll be here.
It's coming.
Soon.
Today was a nice little shot in the arm.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of like the calm before the storm, but we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, we might get another blast before it's all over. If Tim Woods is listening right now, he'd remind me, hey Jake, we got 3 feet after this time last year. So
yeah, it's true.
It happens, and I snowboard, so I'll be totally fine with that.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac was saying that we're supposed to get hit towards the middle of March.
Really?
To the 3 weeks into March, we're supposed to get another storm.
Yeah, I saw maybe just like some cold weather moving in or something, but I don't know. It's a crapshoot.
You can tell we're from upstate New York because we're constantly talking about the weather.
The weather. That's what else is there to talk about, right?
No, there's a lot of great things to talk about because there's so much positivity going on in our community. And in my 40-plus years, I've never seen it like this, ever. Yeah. Ever. Man, you remember the bumper sticker that used to say, hey, the last one out of Utica, please turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Like that, you don't see that anymore. Yeah. There's less negative and more positive. And thank you. Thank you for being positive.
Hey, back at you. You were really one of the first, entrepreneurs in this area, young entrepreneurs in this area. I used to go to the electric company all the time back in the day. I think I was 21 when I was going, but anyway.
You're one of those, huh?
Yeah, we used to maybe sneak in the back door, but not for long. But it has started. I think one thing is we're just a lot more connected these days. Before when certain media outlets, had everybody's ear, and the only people that got on there were going to kind of trash the place. Well, that's all you're going to get. And I think it's going to have a pretty negative effect on everyone that's listening. But now slowly people are starting to kind of slow their roll on that a little bit. And now what's really cool, and what you never saw even 10 years ago, was when somebody would start kind of trashing the area, if they're doing it on social media, there'll be so many people that, few people will agree with them, and that's fine. You can have your opinions, but you see a lot of people jumping on them saying, hey, why don't you, consider, getting involved in this or going to this event. And you'll see that, it's not all used car lots and convenience stores, pizzerias. And guess what? That stuff's everywhere, like pizzas and used cars and convenience stores. I mean, they're popping up everywhere, and just like in any community. But there's just a lot of there's a lot of homegrown businesses, bands, people investing. It's really, really cool to see. Griffiths, where we had Griffiths Air Force Base, is a tech park now, as you know, and that place is going gangbusters right now. There's a guy from Saratoga that's building there now, and he's investing millions into 2 new mixed-use buildings right behind the new Stewart's at Griffiths. And he's building 2 3-story buildings. It's going to be all commercial on the first floor. They're almost sold out of space and the commercial space.
Wow.
There's 2 eateries coming in. I don't know any of the details, and if I did, I don't think I'd be allowed to say. But it sounds like there's some eateries coming in. I know that they're renting out space like crazy. They've got really nice apartments coming in. It's from what I've heard, they want to build more. They want to keep on going. It sounds like there's 2 new businesses coming in there. that they're going to build a new building or two for. I think they're going to build one more building for these two companies, and there's just a lot of great stuff happening. And then
this is all going on the base itself
at Griffiths, yeah, at Griffiths, and right on the tech park. And so as you're coming in and go past Rome Free Academy, come down the hill, there's a new Hampton Inn that's a few years old, and then right across is a Stewart shop, and right behind that was 20 acres of developable land. And then if you go down Floyd Ave, you've got MVCC in Rome that got completely redone.
Mm-hmm.
The Culinary Arts Center there is amazing. Any kid who's thinking about getting into being a chef and watches Chopped and Top Chef and all that, it'd be crazy not to go to MV for culinary arts. It's insane, the kitchens that they have there.
Really?
It's probably the nicest kitchen they'll ever work in, so maybe it's kind of a tease. But I mean, you gotta go see what they built there. They did a $30 million expansion at MV in Rome. And then right across the street is 36 acres of developable land. And I'm on the steering committee at the YMCA. We're talking about building a brand new state-of-the-art YMCA on that 36 acres across the street from MV, adjacent to a tech park, along a $1 million paved trail that runs along the Mohawk. So it's really exciting right now, to be there, to see all this going on. And there's more coming. There's more.
Sure.
You ever have the mayor on or something like that, she'll tell you what's happening. But I only know so much. I only know what I read and what I hear out there. But it's a really interesting time. And the guy that's building from Saratoga, he even may even want to do some stuff right across from the new Y when that goes in. And we're pretty hopeful that project's going to happen. So it's just insane right now.
With all this development going on, 10 years from now is going to be our golden period in this area. It's going to be amazing to see.
I don't think people really understand what this place is going to look like in 10 years.
Facts.
When Cree, the Nexus Center, downtown Utica Hospital, plus Harbor Point that they've been working on, plus everything that's happening at Griffiths and in downtown Rome, it's gonna be insane in 10 years. And I'm glad it's not all cookie cutter development like that happens. And not to throw anything against New Hartford or Binghamton and places like that. Binghamton's done a lot with their downtown, but on the outskirts, it's nothing but
strip malls,
big box, heaven. Mm-hmm. And you need that, I guess, for shopping and stuff.
Right.
You still do that kind of thing. But if you need stuff, but I'm just glad to see a lot of the development happening in Utica and Rome is not just that cookie cutter, development. There's a lot of tech stuff going on that you don't even know about, because a lot of these are cybersecurity firms and things like that, and they fly pretty under the radar. And and it's tough to start a restaurant in this area.
Oh yeah. And
so when you look at some of the restaurants that have popped up in the last few years in Utica and in Rome, it's cool to see, we're not exactly a haven for all the big box stuff, and so it's cool to see some people getting their shot, to open up their own eateries and things like that. So it's cool to see.
The one thing we thrive on around here is the food. Our food culture rivals none.
Yeah.
It rivals none. You mentioned downtown Rome. Now, they've got a grant coming towards them, right? They got like a $10 million grant?
They did.
How's that money getting calculated?
So they got a $10 million grant. Uh-huh. And just like any community that wins this grant money, they put into effect a steering committee, and they accept different projects and things like that. And so just like what's happening in Utica right now, they're having local planning meetings and things like that. We did the same thing in Rome, and I can't list off all of the projects that are happening. I just know that the Capitol Theater is making a bunch of improvements. I know
needed it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're making a ton of improvements over there. They've bought space down in downtown Rome that's connected to the building, and they've really turned it into an art center, a performing arts center. And then even next door, they built these two little black box theaters that show independent films. And I mean, they play some great films, stuff you hear about on television, that have trailers and, you know, big productions, but they also play a lot of independent stuff that you see in like Cannes or, you know, Tribeca Film Fest and things like that, and Sundance. And so they're doing, I've seen a few shows over there, and if you haven't yet, you got to go check it out. They're like 80 and 100. I think one theater is like 60 seats and the other one's like 80. And they're small and they sound great. Visually they look awesome, and you can see some stuff that you wouldn't typically see in the Marquee or some of, you know, Rome cinemas and things like that. But they've got some money earmarked for some new downtown housing, and that's something that, you know, that Rome's kind of desperately needed. We need some good housing in downtown Rome to kind of create an instant neighborhood down there, so that when businesses do pop up, when restaurants do pop up, that there's a built-in audience down there that can support it, that can afford to support it. And so I think they have something like 36 units coming on board right across the street from City Hall, and it's in between it's a vacant lot in between two buildings. I was
just going to ask, is it brand new or?
Yeah, it's going to be from the ground up. Okay. So it'll be a mixed use project. It'll have some commercial space on the first floor, and then 2 or 3 floors of apartments. And I know they use some money for demolition of one of the parking garages that was down there that was already doing a pretty good job at demolishing itself by just falling apart, you know, year after year. So they spent a chunk of change on that. They're building a new Centro hub right now for people that are using public transportation. So there's a bunch of projects happening, signage, all that stuff. And I think they're going to start spending some more money on public art, and to kind of make downtown Rome, you know, visually more appealing and things like that. And so I'm almost positive they have a website that'll list every project that they're doing and how every penny is being spent, and which is the right thing to do. And so maybe next time I come back on, I'll know a little bit more about what's happening there.
You bring up the arts. The local art community is thriving right now. Even here in Utica, if you just go to Sickenburger Lane, and you can see all the amazing artists that are going on in this town. There's such great creativity going.
I haven't been in there since they changed over.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, check it out. But it's not just there, too. I mean, you know, you got Sculpture Space and Munson, of course, but there's such a great art community right now.
Vartan is doing work. It does amazing work, and he's been doing some work in Rome as well too. Super talented guy, and yeah, I mean Rome's got a bunch of different little arts factions going on, you know, and
good.
Yeah. There's good stuff happening. There's even across from the Capitol, they opened up a co-working space like Thinkubator, and it's my understanding they've got people in there paying rent, little startups in there doing their thing, and so that's just the kind of activity that I love. You know, I'm really excited to see that stuff going on. And
it helps with the creative juices.
It does.
You know, you get a bunch of minds together that think alike, and you really snowball all these ideas into actual things that happen. Creativity helps.
It takes the pressure off some of the people that have always been investing.
Exactly.
You know, and because they would be the ones that would get constantly deluged with all the ideas, like, hey, you should go do this. Hey, you should go do that. Used to happen to me. It still happens all the time. People will come to me, hey, I've got a good idea for this, or I've got a good idea for that. And, you know, it's because all of this stuff is going on. I think there's some consumer confidence out there. It's making, you know, unlikely investors investing, you know, in this area. And it's taken some of the pressure off of everybody else to constantly be the face of an event or the face of an organization and things like that. And it's starting to kind of spread it around. And we need that, because if you have the same people that are always running the events and the nonprofit events, and they're going to get burned out, and then it's going to go away. And so now I think you're almost hitting like a kind of a critical mass. and a lot of people are getting involved in a lot of different projects, whether it's, beer, wine, and spirits, or arts and music and concerts and festivals and, recreational events and things like that. It's just popping right now. That Daniel Barden Mudfest.
Yeah.
That thing's huge.
Big ups to the Williams family for doing it every year.
Amazing.
Man. In fact, Dan will be on the show next week, as a matter of fact.
And that's hard. That's hard work. I mean,
I know.
That obstacle
I've been
course,
involved with it since day one.
Dude.
I know how hard that course is, and
it's insane.
That is no undertaking whatsoever.
Hats off to them for sure.
Oh, they do a great
and
job.
Everyone that supports that, runs it, sponsors it.
Do you run it?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No. It looks too insane for me.
It is insane.
Yeah, it's too cold. It's too cold for me. You gotta do that one. In like July.
Right. Well, he moved it up actually. He moved it up so it's May 2nd this year.
Oh, good.
At MKJ Farm. But before it was like at the end of March.
I know.
Or in the middle of March. Then he moved it into April. But then he was thinking it's a little bit more warmer on May 2nd than it is on March 2nd.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not saying I won't do it. I'd like to do it sometime.
I should check it out.
I'm gonna keep my eye on the weather though.
Back to downtown Rome though.
Yeah.
What we see here in Utica is a lot of these old buildings are getting restored into like loft apartments. Are we starting to see a little bit of that in Rome too?
A tiny bit.
Yeah.
And I say a tiny bit only because we already tore all those buildings down, so there's not that much to work with. Mm-hmm. So we a lot of people love to say in Rome, "Wow, we got all these old buildings." Yeah, we do have a few. Don't get me wrong. We definitely have them. But they want to see something turn into all these old buildings, but kind of have to remind them what buildings are you talking about? And there is a few, and some of them are getting turned into and getting a new life. But when you come to downtown Utica, you definitely have more than we do, and so there's a lot more development going on in the Jeffrey Hardware building, some of the other buildings that they have down in Bag Square. Mm-hmm. We just don't have as many of them in Rome, to be honest with you. And the ones that we do have, we're definitely seeing them get polished up a little bit and getting some new life. But we just don't have them.
The one thing you do have in Rome that we don't have in Utica is land.
Yeah.
There's so much land in Rome, where in Utica you can't find land in the city limits itself.
Yeah.
You can't at all. But we're in Rome. What's Rome, like the number 3 largest area-wise in the United States or something like that?
It's big. Rome's something like 74 square miles.
Yeah, it's huge.
I think Utica's like 6. So I'm serious, I'm serious, like 6 or 7 square miles or something. And so Rome is big. So that's always kind of given us a temptation to keep sprawling, and that's why Rome is kind of all over the map. There's Griffiths, and there's kind of the McDonald's and Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts area that's uptown, and then there's our downtown area that's kind of discombobulated with the way our roads work and everything like that, and kind of moving around the fort and everything. And then you keep on going on Erie Boulevard, and then you're out at Walmart area out there. And yeah, exactly. So Rome's always had that temptation to keep on just like sprawling and build over there and build over there. And then people kind of scratch their heads and they say, well, why isn't there some like fun downtown business district where all the young people are going and playing music outside and enjoying restaurants and things like that? Well, we kind of didn't build our town like that. We built a hodgepodge of commercial districts all around Rome, and we're just dealing with it, now and trying to get, bring some life to some different areas in town. But that's Rome's legacy. We're just a big land-wise city, and it's not the easiest place to do infrastructure because there's so much of it. I mean, think of all those sidewalks and those streets and those,
all the potholes.
All the potholes. So it's not an easy city to run. And then if you have a dwindling, tax population and stuff, and paying for all that stuff doesn't make it easy. But I think they're really trying to concentrate on downtown Rome. They're really concentrating at Griffiths right now. We've got some cool stuff happening at our harbor front, which is Bellamy Harbor Park. We've thrown some events there. We've fixed up the canal building that's down there. I know the mayor wants to bring in some more bathrooms down there and have some more facilities for people, because you got to have that stuff. And so but that's Rome's story. We're big, not a ton of people, and just kind of making the best of what you have.
Bellamy Harbor Park is a great spot to have a concert too.
It is
great space.
I think you're going to see. I think someone is going to do something bigger there. I think you're going to see. There's definitely a way to do it where you could secure the area.
I know a guy.
I know a guy too. There's definitely a place where you could do it there.
Yeah,
and bring
sure.
and bring in a really great show or series of shows and things like that. You got to always deal with Mother Nature in upstate New York, but
Always.
that goes with anything. But it's a really great park. The city has a free kayak program there. So Bellamy Harbor Park, if you're like coming down 233 from Westmoreland and Clinton, kind of brings you right into that side of Rome where the water tower is, and that's Bellamy Harbor Park that's down there, and not far from the Savoy. So you're kind of down in that area of East Dominic Street. And in the summertime they run, I think in July and August, they've been having a free kayak program that might be a few bucks to do it. But they've got a grant from the Community Foundation a few years ago, bought a bunch of gear, and they bring in some lifeguards, and you go in, sign a waiver, and you can go out on the canal and paddle around and stuff, and it's a lot of fun, and people are down there fishing and doing their thing. And the city's been throwing more and more events. They just announced Nye Auto is going to do, or not Nye. Anyway, one of the car companies is going to sponsor a little arts and music fest down there.
Oh, cool.
And they're just kind of getting that off the ground right now. I haven't seen too many details about it, but more and more stuff is starting to happen down there. But what's really nice is that you're starting to see the right people coming in to do these projects.
Mm.
And, like I said before, instead of it being the same person trying to do everything, everybody's starting to kind of divide and conquer.
Couple comments out there right now.
Yeah.
Sarita's saying concentrate on getting that bus hub done.
Yeah.
What's going on with the bus hub?
I think, yeah.
It's been going on for 2 years and finally getting done.
Something like that. It's, when they tore down, when the city, who I don't work for, Sarita, when the city tore down the parking garage, that's where the Centro Hub was. It was heated. There were bathrooms in there. And there was a bit that, when they tore that down and didn't have a place for people to go, that created some real hardship for people. And so that's something that they're working on. And if you go to that location now, you'll see something's getting built. I don't think it's as big as everybody wants it to be, or I'm not sure what the gripe is about it, but they're working on it for people. And people need it. They need a warm place to be when they're waiting for public transportation. And, it's not easy to be out there and be cold waiting for the bus. That's got to stink. So I think they're getting it done.
She's also saying rent's way too high for businesses to survive in downtown Rome. The new offices across from the Capitol were $1,500 to rent for last year. Not enough money circulating in Rome for that rent, especially for a new small business.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not easy to be a small business, and anytime somebody comes to me and they've got an idea for a small business, and I try and listen. I listen as well as I can. I'm trying to understand what kind of revenue they have coming in, and I always tell them, you got to really think twice about going and signing a lease somewhere, and because I don't know what your business is going to bring in, and you gotta, your landlord's going to want that money every month. So yeah, I mean, it depends on what business you have. If you're some cybersecurity firm and you're doing business with people all over the world, there's a company that bought a building across from City Hall in Rome. They're completely renovating it. They're probably putting $1 million into this building, and I don't think they're going to have to worry about the revenues, but if you're selling hats or selling general merchandise or even food, it's not easy, and so rent is expensive. Upkeep of buildings is expensive. I do some nonprofit work right now, and I'm kind of a landlord right now, let me tell you, it's very expensive. So I hear you, Sarita. It's not easy out there.
It definitely isn't, especially in upstate New York. They make it hard for you. And then, of course, the state doesn't make it easy for you.
No,
either,
nothing's easy in New York.
No, definitely not.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
That lyric is definitely true, and it still holds up to this day. He wrote that song back in the 50s.
That's right.
It still holds up to this
That's right.
But what would you like to see happen in Rome? What are some of the things that you'd like to see happen down the pipeline?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm just excited to see kind of where we're at right now, where we've come in the last 20 years.
Where we've come in the last 3 years
has been pretty amazing. But I go back even further because the seeds were starting to get planted. And it just seems like every 8 years they're getting a little bit better and a little bit better. Far from perfect, but it just seems to be. To me, I want to see people continue to get involved, continue to be positive about where they live. And hey, I get it. I see things through rose-colored glasses, but I think that we could all do a lot better at getting more involved and supporting these small businesses. We're buying way too much stuff on Amazon. I'm guilty of it.
And Walmart.
We've got to spend our dollars locally with our local restaurants, with our local businesses. We have to kind of put our money where our mouth is and continue to do that stuff. But I'm really excited to see the possibility of a new YMCA. Really excited to see the possibility of, Fort Stanwix School in Rome get turned into apartments, continuing on with the downtown and Griffiths development. We just got to keep on going. It's not going to be one silver bullet project that saves this area. It's going to be all of us doing a little bit where we can, having these podcasts, putting out good content that, brings up this area. It's all part of it. It's not just going to be one thing. So everybody keep going. Keep doing what you're doing.
Today's PSA of the day is support local.
Yeah.
Support local.
1,000%.
Never mind these corporations. If you're going to go out, go shop and go to Schnatchery's.
I was bummed that Daniele's was closed on Mondays, because I was going to have to go in there, but I'll have to get a tomato pie next week.
I hear that a lot on Mondays.
I know. Those are tough days to be here.
A lot of the guests like to come in and stop there first or bring in a tomato pie to the crew over.
Got to go see Teresa and the crew over there. The best.
The best. That's my favorite tomato pie.
It's the best.
All right, so somebody's coming to town, right? Say you got a client coming to town.
Yep.
Where's the first restaurant you're taking them?
In Rome, I'm taking them to Savoy, Vigneto, the Vine and Fig. Those are 3 good ones. If we're going to Utica, we're going to Ocean Blue. Definitely stopping up there for some appetizers and some drinks, and even doing the same down at Taylor and the Cook and a few other spots. But there's you could swing a dead cat around here and hit a good restaurant. Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward to going back to Joey's, and I'm pretty excited about that. So
yeah, Grabski's killing it.
Yeah,
Joey's at 307.
I got to get back there.
Yeah, unreal, man. That guy can cook his ass off.
That's right.
At his breakfast place this morning, as a matter of fact, at the Out of the Way Cafe, and he's telling me all the good things they got going on over there.
Nice.
Check out Joey's when you get.
I will.
He's only open Thursday, Friday, Saturdays.
Hey, well, you got to go when you got to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pelletary Joe's, all of them.
Another one.
The best.
I haven't been to Pelletary Joe's since they changed owners. Have you?
Guess what? It's really good.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm not going to make a bold statement. I'll just tell you it's really good.
Oh yeah.
Really good. You won't be disappointed. They haven't skipped a beat.
We don't lack in good food around here. That's for damn sure.
Nope.
And all different cultures too, not just Italian.
Everything. Taste of Lao and everything.
My favorite place.
Best. I mean, we've got lots of good stuff around here.
Have you had the cannoli egg roll?
I have not had the cannoli egg roll.
Oh yeah, do yourself a favor.
That's in there?
Taste of Laos.
All right, I'm going there when I leave here.
She made us cannoli egg rolls, and then I was in there maybe 2 weeks ago, and she makes this strawberry shortcake egg roll as well. And she just drizzles this strawberry sauce on it with confectionery sugar. It's awesome.
I like the dessert egg roll. I'll have to try that. I'm trying to lay off, but hey,
Yeah.
When in Utica.
You're right, exactly. Calories don't count in Utica.
No.
It's like the state fair.
Right.
So a lot of positivity going on in the community, and it's great. And so get involved. How do people get involved? Talk about more how people can get involved in different organizations and community groups.
Yeah, definitely the first place. I mean, if you want to drop us a line at Positively Rome, if you're new to the area, you want to get involved in a project, whether it's an outdoor project, whether it's something you want to get off the ground, you can always drop us an instant message at Positively Rome. And then we direct a lot of people towards the community foundations. Oneida Herkimer Counties does a great job. They've got a team there that can help, since they're working with all the nonprofits. And let's say it's a nonprofit, idea, event, or project that you have. They're a great place to go and introduce yourself, because they work with all the local nonprofits, and they can say, "Oh, that really sounds like it's a project for sculpture space. We'll introduce you through email to them." I'm not saying exactly what they'll do for you, but they're there to listen. Positively Rome is there to listen. I'm sure if somebody contacted you, you could point them in the right direction. But if they're starting a small business, they've got to get down to the MVCC's Thinkubator, and because now they have the Small Business Development Center in there. So, if you're a startup, if you're looking for funding, if you're fleshing out a new idea or business, Thinkubator's where you go. If you need co-working space, you go there. You go in Rome, they've got Thrive. And if you're a real teched out business, you want to go to MV Edge and go talk to them up there about economic development. And if you're thinking about making a sizable investment in this area, they can help you find land. They can help you go after government dollars, state grants, things like that, or just kind of give you an idea of how that whole ecosystem works. So get in touch with us, get in touch with MV Edge, the Thinkubator. These are the community foundations. You drop them a line, drop them a nice email, tell them who you are, what you want to do, how you want to get involved. Somebody's going to point you in the right direction. And then maybe you just got to figure out, you just got to start something fresh yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you got to do.
You never know.
Just
get involved is the main object we're trying to get across today.
Yeah, you only got one shot.
That's it.
So you might as well make the most of your time.
What charities do you get behind?
American Heart Association is a real big one.
Did you walk this weekend?
I didn't, but gave some money, and we did the walk in Rome. My son goes to school with a boy that had a couple of heart surgeries, and he's doing great. And but American Heart Association has definitely touched a lot of people. United Way and Rome, and now they're kind of merging with Utica right now. So I've gotten behind those a lot. But Relay for Life, we just worked with Relay for Life in Rome on the Moonlight Trail Night, so we're making a $500 donation to them.
Excellent.
And so we try and help out with the few bucks we have, or the little bit of spare time that we have. We'll do whatever we can for an organization. So we help out where we can.
Positively Rome. Give how people can get if they want to get involved with that. Give your website address and all that, please.
Yep. PositivelyRome.com. And, the best place to go for us is probably our Facebook page. We're constantly, trying to spread some good news about stuff that's happening around here. And we're pretty quick to get back to you if you've got an idea or you want to get involved. So, especially if you want to get involved, we get right back to you.
We want you to get involved.
We need your help.
Yes, we do. We do. Get involved with the community. And it's a great way to not complain about your area, right? Is by getting involved and see what goes on behind the scenes and see what it takes to start these events or these organizations. So
what about you? What do you got going on this year? You got any fun plans?
Oh my God, yeah. Well, what do you mean?
Well, what do you got going on?
Well,
you're the Z-man. What's happening?
Summer's going to be nuts with concert season, of course.
Yeah.
But also coming up in the near future, you got Mudfest coming up. We've got a lot of shows coming up at Saranac and Paper Mill Island and stuff like that. But also, I'm in the works of doing our instrument drive.
Great.
Year number 2.
That is awesome.
We're expanding it to hopefully to the Syracuse School District as well as the Utica School District, and also going out to the Valley as well. So we're going to be doing that. We're getting involved with Real Men Wear Pink again that we do every year, and we just did the Heart Association. I raised like $1,200 for the Heart Association with the Treadmill Challenge. So thank you to everybody actually for helping me raise that kind of money, man. It was great. I was number 2.
That's awesome.
The Treadmill Challenge. I can't beat Sheriff Rob.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
he probably threatens his guys like, hey, if you don't make a donation, I'm giving you extra hours in the car.
he's also a farmer too, so those guys can outwork and outrun anyone. So,
Rob Mitchell's a great man, and he doubled what I did.
Yeah.
He raised a lot of money, but our team did great. And thanks again to everybody that donated for the treadmill challenge. It was a lot of fun. I went up against Beth Coombs.
Nice.
And that's all I did was talk shit to her the whole time.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
It's all
talk about her hair and her springy hair. And
we talked about a lot of stuff. And in fact, it's on my Facebook if you want to go and you can find out what an asshole I can be sometimes. It's right there in that live feed. But no, we had a great time. We raised a lot of money. I want to thank again everybody for donating to the cause. And so yeah, we do got a lot of things going on around the D, man.
Little bit.
There's always something happening around here, and you know, and just putting out good content.
Yeah.
And we're up to 11 shows here on the network now, and hopefully looking for more. So if anybody's interested in maybe doing a podcast, hit us up. We got some. We got. Check out the studios. You know, we got a pretty good little space.
You guys
over
are
here,
taking you guys are taking over the airwaves. I love it.
I don't know about taking over the airwaves. I'm trying to stay in my lane, brother.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to. You know, I'm making my disruption, of course, but I'm staying in my lane doing so.
Yep.
You know.
Now you guys are doing a great job. I've been catching some of the different shows you've been putting out there, laughing my ass off at night. My wife's like, "What are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'll put it away."
It's Bill Vincey.
It is. He's out of control.
Who is the all-time leading scorer in pregame history in RFA basketball history.
But I think he's the only one that was ever keeping track. So that doesn't surprise me.
Cracks me up.
You could have a whole show about, I think, Rome and Utica sports and history and coaches over the years. We've had a lot of colorful characters, some really great rivalries. When my grandfather played RFA football and they played against Proctor back in the 40s, if you won, they canceled school the next day or Monday, and the day of the game, they would not go to school. They'd have a big parade. They'd light caskets on fire, throw them in the Mohawk River. I mean, it was Utica versus Rome back then.
Rivalry, huh?
It was insane. So I mean, there's a lot of stories and content to put out there.
So much.
There is.
Legion Ball 2.
Oh yeah.
Smith versus Adrian Post, and then in hockey too, we used to battle Rome all the time in hockey. Even in youth hockey, it would get nasty. It would, but it's made for great rivalries throughout the years.
Absolutely.
And you're right. So many colorful characters have come out of both scenes for sure.
Yeah. We got some insane coaches throughout the years. So yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, thanks so much for coming in. We got to do this again because I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface.
We'll do it.
Like, there's so much there. And I'm glad we can finally do this. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while. Another thing I want to thank you, too, is for giving us love for the Warren Miller ski. You had the little rolling screen going on at the ski movie that you do at the Stanley every year, which you're probably going to do again next year, too.
It'll be year number 10. I think we got to do it. At least one more year. Yeah, it'll be 10
and
10
you
years.
do such a great job with that. But thank you so much for giving the D some love on that screen, man.
Of course.
It meant a lot, and it was so cool to see. I was walking in there, and you told me, you're like, hey, you know, I gave you some love, whatever, but I didn't really register until I actually saw it. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, there we are. So thank you so much for taking care of us on that end.
Of course.
It was really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So you do the ski movie usually right around January?
We're going to do it early December. We used to do it late November. Now we're doing it early December.
Okay.
And it's the Warren Miller ski and snowboard film. We bring the film here. We license the film, and then it's $20 to get in, and you get like hundreds of dollars of free lift tickets. And of course, every lift ticket's got their little blackout dates here and there and stuff like that. But for the most part, skiing and snowboarding's got pretty expensive. So anywhere you can save a few bucks to get out there is helpful. And people come, they go through, they get their free lift tickets, then they get some beers, see an amazing film that was filmed the prior year all over the world with the world's best skiers and snowboarders. It's all a bunch of X Games stuff and big mountain riding and lots of powder. And you see some really great locations like Japan and Austria, and they even go to like the Middle East and snowboard, and obviously out west. It's really cool.
You've created a great tradition, especially amongst the local skiing community, man.
It's a lot of fun.
Really cool. 10 years coming up this year.
I love doing it. It's a lot of work, but it's one night. We get it done. We have fun. we get out of there. We plan for it again the next year.
Yeah, you've created like a lot of repeat people come every year. It's like
look
forward to that.
Get like 800 people to that show. It's a lot of fun.
Huge.
It's a lot of fun.
Huge, man.
Yep.
Well, keep up all the great work. And if you have any kind of event or anything you need to promo, please use my platform, brother.
I will. Thank you.
This is awesome. Thank you. And tomorrow, I don't know what I got going on tomorrow. I got to check my calendar. But I know Dr. Sheridan Mish is coming in this week as well. We're going to talk. We're doing drum circles with kids. That's coming up on March 29th at the Whitestown Legion. We're getting together with a whole bunch of percussion. We're going to sit around and play music with the kids. I'm looking forward to
Beat the beat up. All right.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's coming up with Dr. Mish. So I think that's on Wednesday we talked to him. Also got to give love to my sponsors. Thank you to Utica Hemp, EJA Moving Services, Utica Coffee, and, of course, my great friends over at the Saranac Brewery. Jake, one more time, give all your social media contact and how can people get in touch with you if they want to get involved with Positively Rome.
Positively Rome Facebook page. See us over there.
See us over there. Awesome. Later, man. Great to see you.
See ya.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.